case against Obama?
Well, I don't think we can really pressure the courts. I think what we have to do is do like this, do it in your hometowns. Do you know if like 5 individuals were to get together, let me think, where is your birth certificate? 6 words, okay? Think about it. If you made up signs with 6 words, Obama, where is your birth certificate? And that's a little different than the signs that are around the country. Some of the signs around the country say, where's your birth certificate? I think it doesn't go far enough because I think people see as it goes into immigration. But if 6 people would stand together with those signs at a busy intersection at rush hour, you can come between, depending how busy it is, you can affect between 5,000 and 20,000 people in 1 hour. And that's what we should do. Maybe we'll put that on our website. We should do that around the country. Start spreading the word. Get on that internet. It doesn't cost you any more. Send the message out. A lot of the filming that was done here today will be on the internet. It's going to be up there. And keep spreading the word that a certification of live birth is not a birth certificate. If the baby's length, the baby's weight, the hospital name, the doctor's name, the doctor's signature are not on that document, and it's not valid evidence of birth for a birth certificate. It can't get you your child into Little League, and also can't get you a passport. Any other questions? Because we're wrapping soon. Yes, sir.
Well, I just had a quick question. I had a brief conversation with a young man who's what is exactly the definition of standing? He was of the opinion that standing means that the evidence that you had was not sufficient. It's my understanding that when the judge rules that you do not have standing, he simply says, it's none of your business, so get out.
Well, it's not, standing is the right, that you have the right to bring that lawsuit. That you are affected also says you have injury. But standing is the right to bring an action. In other words, like, I can't sue your next door neighbor for damage to your house because I have no standing. I don't live next to you. You can sue your next door neighbor.
So it really has nothing to do with the evidence.
It has nothing to do with evidence. You don't even get to the evidence. That person who told you that is wrong on that. Standing is the right you have to bring an action.
And the reason the judge ruled that is because the lawyers for Obama asked him to. Is that?
Well, they ruled that Berg doesn't have standing to bring this, and these other attorneys across the country, the other individuals, don't have the right to bring an action against the Constitution. And they basically followed Judge Surik, the judge in Philadelphia, who said that I don't have the right, none of you have the right, no one in the country has a right to sue over the Constitution.
But he made that ruling because...
Well, the other side asked for that, and he caved into that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I think that's 100% wrong. Anything else? There we go, right here. Wait.
We got a DVD out because of all the length of it. So we'll get it out. We'll go over your internet website. We'll have a DVD of this.
Okay. I'll tell that in a minute. Yes, sir.
Thank you for your work. My question is, since it's my understanding that the 20th Amendment, Section 3, specifically requires that qualification had been completed before the time fixed for the beginning of the presidency, that because of the fact that this would alleviate all the discussions, they would just focus on whether the qualification had been completed. Do you think that would be more worthwhile if generally, I know there are many approaches and facets to all this, but do you think generally if there were more focus on that part of the Constitution, that would remove all the debate, or at least most of it? The debate would be secondary to support, but it would remove, for security reasons, the debates, and it would say, just ask a simple question: did the person finish qualifying before the time fixed? Do you think that would be more effective?
Well, I think it's a good point, but what would happen, I think, all the judges in this country would rule how they've ruled, that you don't have standing to bring that type of action. They're saying that Congress in the future shall decide who has standing. It's absurd. I don't buy the decision. But none of the appellate courts have agreed with our position on this, and it's really wrong. So, a good point, but I don't think it would have any different bearing. Before any other questions, John, my great photographer, and there's others here, mentioned that we're going to do a DVD because this was long today, and it'll be available on our website of the proceedings here today. So keep watching our website, obamacrimes.com. Yes, sir.
One last question, Councilor Berg. In the event over the next month to 90 days that this last case that's still pending and still active in the courts does not go our way, or again, gets turned down, what can we do? Because we're only 90 days, 60 days away from the 212 elections, where every Secretary of State of all 50 states, okay, have to register with the Electoral College. Should we begin to look over the horizon on what movements we should do on each of our own states?
I guess we can look into that. We'll try to look into that. I'm hopeful, that we can accomplish that before. But that's a good point, to put the Secretary of States on notice that we're going to watch what they're doing here. It's an avenue to take, you're right, before it occurs, because afterwards the Secretary of State say it's too late. So that is a good approach. We'll check into that. It's a good idea. Yes, young lady.
Hi, I'd like to know if a Republican would have standing, like a congressman or senator, if they would have standing to bring a court case.
Not according to the judge, but a congressman or no. The judge said no one has standing. He said perhaps in the future Congress will decide. Completely wrong. But if a congressman or a senator had guts, they could hold a congressional hearing. So right now, though, no Democrat will do anything. They're in control. The party in power has control. So if the Republicans take control in November, they will be able to hold hearings. They could do something about it. And then I think, as a Democrat here, it's time to throw them all out. It's time to throw everybody out, but I would throw the Democrats out because they sure aren't looking out for our welfare. Yes, sir.
Yes, I just can't understand how any judge could rule that any American does not have standing. We are all stuck with this deficit. We are all stuck with these attacks on our constitutional rights. I mean, every single American is affected by this, and every single American should have standing, and I think the judge should be impeached just for that ruling.
Well, the only problem is who's going to impeach him. Judges, I think, I don't think you can impeach them. There's different procedures against judges. The national media in our country and the judges in our country have no guts. This topic should be dealt with. Some judge, someplace should deal with it. Congress should deal with it. Some congressman, some Democrat or Republican or independent member of the House or Senate should deal with this. And if not, we're going to have to deal with this as we the people keep watching Obama crimes. We came up with this name back in 2008 when we didn't know the extent of the crimes. But they're massive because he has violated the law, and it's up to us. Any more? One last question? What do we got here? One last question, and then we're going to wrap.
Okay, my question is in reference to the actual machinery behind Obama. From my point of view, I know that Obama could have never gotten to the place where he is, save that it would have been produced by the Bilderberg Group and the CFR, which is the shadow government of America. So is there any way that we can just, the snake has to be killed by the head?
Well,
how can we approach this?
We have to just continue the way we are. With that one case, we're going to take the U.S. Supreme Court. Other than that, we need the rank and file. We need all of you across this country. As the Constitution starts, we the people, we must continue our efforts, pursue our efforts, and demand that the Constitution be followed. And that's why I'm here today. That's why you're here today. Is Ron McRae here? One last thing. Is Ron here? I don't see him. He was here in Washington. He didn't show up. I thank you all. Give a round of applause for our other speakers, and thank you for being here today. And I thank you. I'm going to applaud each of you for being here today and continuing this effort, because together, we the people can bring justice to this country, and we can save our country, because we need to save our country. Thank you very much. Sure. Who can sing? God bless America. Who can sing?